Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be telling you guys what every team in the AFC North should be doing this offseason and in the draft, starting with my beloved Cleveland Browns. Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go first.
All right, listen. I've had a lot of thought about this, and there's three different scenarios that run through my head every time, and I don't know which one I love the most. First scenario that I think is the most realistic, I don't think the Titans are going to pass on Cam Ward. Cam Ward looked really good in his pro day, and I think that it's been sold that he's the best quarterback in the draft, like by far. Isn't that what you guys have been seeing, or just me?
I'm saying he's the number one quarterback in the draft.
Mel Kiper dubbed it as by far. Todd McShay also said by far. Hey, I mean, Mel Kiper also threatened to quit being a draft analyst 10 years ago if somebody wasn't still in the league 4 years later, and that didn't happen. So take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, I think Cam Ward will be the number one overall pick, and I don't think the Browns would even be able to afford the Titans' asking price to move back. So with that being said, you're looking at number two. Do you love Shedeur or do you not? I've seen some draft comps, seen some tape, watched a lot of Colorado games. I personally don't love Shedeur at all. I think he's solid, not number two. I don't love him that much. I think that is the same Browns formula that they've been doing for the last 20 years, taking Shedeur too. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm taking Abdul Carter too. I'm going to pair him with Myles Garrett. Or if I can get him at 2, I don't think he's going to be available at 3. I think the Patriots will probably take him at 4. There are 4, right? And then the Giants are at 3?
Giants 3, Pats 4. Yep.
I don't think he lasts past the Patriots. So you could possibly trade the Giants. Let them take Shedeur, move back 1 pick, and hopefully get their second-round pick to move up in the draft. The problem is if you take Abdul Carter, then you want Jackson Dart most likely. That's what the consensus is.
With the 33rd pick?
You're not getting him with the 33rd pick. If
So
you
you're
want
trade back in that first round.
If you want Jackson Dart, you need to be in the teens, not low teens.
Teens?
Listen, Pittsburgh has what pick, Jordan? The 20th?
22nd or 23rd? 21st.
He will be gone by that pick. And then you got to worry about stupid teams. Remember what the Falcons did last year, guys?
Not stupid, but out of the blue teams.
Well, teams who need more and they take a position like that and they're like, wait, what? So, for example,
they need a lot and they just take best available.
Yes.
They're
so,
he's still there? Fuck it, we'll take him.
The Raiders with Brock Bowers after they drafted Mike Mayer a year before that. It's like, okay, I'd move. And then Detroit, they moved up for Jahmyr Gibbs. And you're like, wait a minute, don't you have David Montgomery? Turned out to be a great move. So did Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
With that being said, what if the Jets just decide to go crazy and be like, Justin Fields is only on a 2-year deal. We'll let him play 1 year, suck, and we'll take Dart.
That'd be insane. That'd be way, because they got the 7th, 8th pick. That's way too early. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to go in the top 10, but we didn't think Penix was going to go to the Falcons. Yeah, we didn't think he was going to go to the Falcons.
J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr., and Bo Nix all went earlier than people thought they would go.
That is true.
But granted, there was a little more rumor of them being still first-round QBs when Jackson Dart wasn't, and then now, slowly but surely, he's becoming
I think it's safe to say that he's a first-round QB.
Well, I was going to say, from what I've seen even a few weeks ago and since the NFL Combine, essentially, is that Jackson Dart is a top 32 pick. He's going to get taken in the first round. It's just a matter of where.
So if you cannot move back into the first round, you take Abdul Carter second. Whoever you get in the offseason, whether it's Joe Flacco, whether you try to trade for Kirk, Dak Prescott. What'd you hear about that, Derek?
The Dak Prescott news I heard was fake, and the guy just kind of said it for a little bit of clickbait, a little bit of views. It might not be true at all.
Dang, we should be starting rumors. Remember last year when we were starting fake rumors?
Yeah, we should have. We should be doing that. And well, two of your guys' rumors that you guys made were true. They turned out to happen or something.
You remember, I had people believing we had sources.
Yeah, we didn't.
We had no sources.
We had guesses.
So with that being said, draft Abdul Carter second, and then you have to go and get a guy, just a bridge guy for the season. Now, you don't want the season to be a complete wash. You don't want to be in the top 5 again. But it's a possibility if you don't end up with Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco. If you end up with Carson Wentz, you're drafted in the top 10. If you start the season with Kenny Pickett, you're drafted in the top 10. This ain't Mike Tomlin 10-7 no matter what. We are not that team. Jackson Dart's off the board. My second pick for the Browns, if they're going to take a quarterback, you guys are going to absolutely hate this. But I've officially been turned into a believer. Ohio State quarterback, not Will Howard.
Kyle McCord.
I've been watching. Listen, second round.
No.
Second round.
He'll be there in the fourth, brother.
Listen, that's
Third.
what you think.
For sure.
That's what you think. I'm taking him
I'll
over
bet you,
Jalen.
I'll bet you $10 he goes into the third round.
You listen,
right now.
when you need
$10?
a quarterback, you have to listen. Well, okay, what round?
There's $10 that you want him to go before the third round. I think he's going to go third round or later.
Okay, so over under third round. I'll take the under third round. You take the over.
Deal.
Chipotle bowl on it.
Chipotle bowl. We know.
I think that is the most realistic scenario. Is go ahead and take Abdul Carter, maybe trade back one pick. If you can't move up to get Jackson Dart, I think Kyle McCord is the fourth best option at QB. And I'm going to be honest, people are going to call me crazy when I say this. I don't think the gap between Shador to Dart to McCord is that big. I really don't.
Now, I know with the Browns, I was hoping to get Russ or A-Rod. Obviously, Russ was more in the talk than A-Rod ever was. Rod never mentioned with the Browns. Mentioned with the Giants before the Browns.
And they were right. He wanted way too much money. $20 million for 1 year.
And I would have been happy taking Russ and then taking Abdul Carter with the second overall pick, and then not a bridge quarterback, but a rookie quarterback to follow under Russ. That was like the dream scenario for it. Now that like we're assuming we're gonna have a Flacco, a Wentz, a Pickett, basically.
It sounds way crazier when you say it out loud. I'd rather read it. I'd rather just read it.
I said it 5 minutes ago, and it didn't sound that bad.
A couple years ago, MVP went, sure. Maybe a couple years ago, Flacco, reliable. Coming out of the draft, Kenny Pickett, there's hope. Right now, there's not hope for any three of them. Shador, I'm not sold on either at 2. I don't think he's a franchise-changing player. I mean, it's only those two options. Joel Klatt did a mock draft. He had us taking Travis Hunter with the second overall pick. I don't think that we don't need help in the wide receiver room. We don't need help in the corner room right now or the secondary room right now. That's not our biggest, thing that we need to focus on. So I'm kind of with you. I don't think we should trade back in that first round to get that rookie quarterback because, like you said, I don't think there's a big drop-off between Kyle McCord, Will Howard, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, those four. I think they're all pretty much in that same tier. I think I'm okay with taking any of those guys and having them sit back for almost a whole year and then seeing what they can do.
Yeah, with all of those dudes, you're just looking at who do I think has the highest upside. Like that's just what you're looking at. And I think Kyle McCord did the best with the least amount of talent. That's why, like, Will Howard won a national championship, but look at who he had around him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to
Kyle McCord had that almost same offense around him. Didn't have the dual threat running backs, but he had more of also. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he didn't play horrible, but Will Howard played better.
He didn't play horrible, but he was similar to Will. They kind of choked in certain situations. Howard at Michigan didn't play good, lost to Michigan, but then ended up somehow making it
at Michigan
to it. Yeah, McCord, same thing. Ohio State versus Michigan the past couple of years, whoever was a quarterback, not good. But I will say I'm fine with any of those four if we wait that third round for him. Second, third round. I'm fine second round, third round if we're able to take a running back as well. A Judkins, however you say his last name.
Travion. That's who I really want to trade.
Maybe Caleb Johnson, Travion. One of those three that maybe in that late second, third round if we're able to get them. Cool with having them because we're going to need help at running back too. I agree with you. The second overall pick, we should take the best player in the draft, and that's Bill Carter.
So my thoughts on what the Browns should have done, obviously this was before the Myles Garrett extension, but I thought that, I thought Myles Garrett was for sure going to get traded. I was going to say send him to a Lions, an Eagles, somebody that, not the Eagles are 32, but send him to somebody in like the late 20s. Draft Abdul Carter with the second overall pick.
And then go get Dart, right?
And then draft Jackson Dart at the end of the first round was going to be my initial thought process. Obviously, with that being a little bit different now, Myles Garrett being re-signed. You have him for 6 more years. If in some crazy off-the-wall world, the Titans take Abdul Carter or the Titans' asking price to trade back is within what the Browns could do, I could see a Cam Ward getting drafted because realistically for the Browns, you have a great edge rusher. You have a top 3, top 2 edge rusher in the NFL. Top 2, and he ain't one. But you have a guy, you know what I mean? You have your edge. He's set would it be good to have Abdul Carter on the other side? Of course. That would be awesome to have the two, like when Bud Dupree was actually good with the Steelers. In a world where you could get the first pick or the Titans somehow don't take Cam Ward, I could see that you guys taking Cam Ward if both are available at your pick somehow, some way. Cam Ward, I think, is more valuable to the Browns right now than Abdul Carter is. You need a quarterback more than you need a second edge rusher.
I mean, if Cam Ward's available, I agree with taking Cam Ward. But if he's not available, I like the Abdul Carter.
Yeah, absolutely, Abdul Carter. And then, like you guys said, you go quarterback in the second round. Maybe make some smaller time trades, get rid of some, maybe a Devin Bush, even though you just extended him, send him somewhere.
Greg Newsome is supposedly on the chopping block.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people. I've seen something about Denzel Ward possibly being moved. I don't know like what the truth is behind any of it. I'm sure people are just kind of saying whatever to make people think like, oh, the Browns might trade this guy. The Browns might trade this guy. At the end of the day, if you have to move one of your defensive players, one of, a younger offensive player that you really haven't used too much, something like that to move up even in the second round to draft the guy you want at quarterback, I don't see it being a bad thing. Have you guys officially re-signed Nick Chubb? I feel like if you did, I haven't seen it anywhere. Okay.
No, we haven't.
You still need a running back too. Hypothetically, you're able to move Denzel Ward in your second to get into that high 20s or even mid to low 20s. If Ashton Genty's there, if obviously I don't think he's going to be there late 20s, but one of the top
20,
let's say one of the top 3 to 4 running backs in the draft are still there. If you get, say, pick 24 or 25, would you think about maybe taking him over a Jackson Dart in that position?
I wouldn't personally, just because if you don't get Genty, I think just like the quarterbacks, just like the quarterback,
next four,
from Shador to Dart to McCord to Howard to Milrow, however you want to put the order, the drop off is an extreme from 1 to 4 or from 2 to 4. If you don't get Genty, from Hampton down to Johnson, down to Judkins, Henderson, there's
would be your fifth one probably.
There's a couple more. I mean, you got the dude from Virginia Tech, I can't pronounce his last name. And then there was one other dude. That is Caleb Johnson. Never mind, from Iowa. But there's so many that like if Genty isn't
okay
there,
with waiting a little bit longer to get somebody that you don't think is much worse than the rest.
Exactly. Yeah,
Gotcha.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Just because they need so much, and it's like the biggest need is the person who's gonna say Hut. Like that's the biggest one.
Trust me, as a Steelers fan, you don't want that guy that's looking like might start to be the starter.
So for the Cleveland Browns, I know we kind of hit on it, but like the main team needs, this is according to NFL.com when they did their mock draft, was QB, of course, O-line, linebackers, and running back for the most part. Now our free agent moves, these are the key ones that we got. We got Tevin Jenkins, he's a guard from the Bears. Now, historically had injury issues throughout his career, but brings depth to us. And the main question for me is that we don't need help at guard. We're good on guard. It's our tackles that need the majority of the upgrade.
Well, as a depth guy, I don't think that's terrible, but we did see what the Bears O-line looked like last year. Now I am faulting Caleb Williams for making them look that bad a little bit, but they still looked bad. With or without Caleb Williams, they looked bad.
Yeah, Tevin Jenkins mainly played left guard. He'll be most likely backup. I don't know if they try to switch up the offensive line positions. We'll see. Speaking of O-line, we also did get Cornelius Lucas, tackle from the Commanders. Mm-hmm. Now, he's probably going to go back and forth with DeJuan Jones for that starting tackle spot. So we'll see kind of how that goes.
Jack Conklin will be hurt.
I was going to say maybe he'll back up Jack Conklin if he stays healthy.
He'll be hurt.
We'll figure that out. The next one, this one I'm eerie to see how this turns out. The guy from Tampa, the D-end, Joe Tyron Shayawinka. I don't know how to say his last name. It's a weird last name.
Shuyinka.
But Shayawinka. I heard a lot of good things about him. Of course, he's probably going to be playing the best he's ever had because he's going to have Myles Garrett across from him. So a lot more focus is going to be on that end, and he's going to have a lot more free rushes.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
We signed Devin Bush, not a big deal. Malik Collins, a defensive tackle. We're basically replaced for Dalvin Tomlinson. Just another depth guy.
Dalvin got paid
for being an old D tackle too. For being an old D tackle, he got some money.
I thought Dalvin was young.
Jordan, you able to look that up as I go through these? We did get another receiver, DeAndre Carter from the Chicago Bears. Just another depth thing. I don't think we really need help. We did get a linebacker, assuming that this guy most likely is going to replace JOK if he can't play. Jerome Baker. From the Titans, I believe he played last year.
Dalvin Tomlinson's 31.
Old. Never mind. You're right.
It's a little older for a D tackle.
Yeah, that's old.
And then the last big one is that we traded DTR and a pick for Kenny Pickett.
So I just wanted to ask you guys before
obviously
we move on to the Steelers.
We're back.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys before we move on to the Steelers. Looking at the quarterback room you have now, it's not good. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you go.
I don't even know who's behind Kenny. Who's behind Kenny?
Hypothetically, you go into this season with the quarterback room that you have.
Stop. Don't.
No, I just want you to hear me out. It's a hypothetical. Would you guys have rather had DTR to start the season, or are you happier having Kenny Pickett if that's what
Kenny
has
Pickett.
to happen?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny's better than DTR. Kenny is definitely better than DTR.
Yeah, DTR. He is not a good
quarterback room for right now is Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett. That's all. That's a great quarterback room. That's definitely 32. Out of the 32 teams, that's at the bottom.
That's 34. There's 2 CFL teams above us.
Trey Lance is about to get paid over there.
You guys think the Titans QB room's higher than yours?
Yes, I would take Will Levis over everybody we have.
I'd take Will
everybody.
Over. At least he'll give me exciting, terrible plays to watch, kind of like Deshaun, but they're more exciting because they're memed. Yeah. No.
Why did he do that? That made the pick six so much worse. Is just going like this.
No.
Look like that dude when the Michigan State blocked the punt, just like.
As you think, I will say that we got a first-round pick, a second-round, 2/3, a fourth, a fifth, and 3 sixth-round picks headed into this NFL draft. Hypothetically, second-round pick, most likely Cam Ward Abdul, assuming. Second round, we're hoping maybe we get a tackle for tackle help. Maybe we get a running back. We'll see. Third round.
Maybe a good linebacker in that spot too. I mean, you guys still don't know what's going on with JOK, if he's ever going to play football again. I mean, obviously, you hope that he can come back and play.
Now, I don't think that Travion is going to go to the third round. He might go a little bit before that. But there's rumors that with our 67th pick, we can take Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson from Iowa, Tez Johnson, a wide receiver from Oregon. I think he's going to go before that. Or Savion Williams, wide receiver from TSU. Wouldn't really want him because he's 26. He'll be a 26-year-old rookie. Don't know if I want to draft a wide receiver with the third round pick that is 26 years old.
My dude is already in his prime. He's on a second NFL contract.
Well, in that Browns segment there, comments down below. Who do you think the Browns should get for their second overall pick? Who do you think they should go out and try to get for quarterback if they draft it or trade for it? What the hell they're going to do? Let us know below.
Well, hey, speaking of a team who also needs a quarterback.
Hello.
Jordan's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hello.
They're building their very own Browns jersey. You're going to put a Big Ben jersey and then it's just going to be everybody after.
Can't wait.
I do love... So the first thing I want to say when we talk about the quarterbacks, obviously losing Justin Fields and Russell Wilson both to New York teams this year, surprisingly. They're going to play in the same stadium again next year, just on different teams. The worst stadium, arguably, in the NFL. Justin Fields and Russell Wilson got paid more than we were willing to pay them. And due to them, we traded, a sixth for Justin Fields? Or a fifth? A fifth. And we signed Russ for nothing because he was on that big contract with Denver.
Nothing.
We got 2 third-round comp picks because they signed for big money somewhere else. So I wouldn't call it mishandled. We did get 2. I mean, they're third rounds. They're not obviously like first-round picks. But that's 2 solid picks being in there because they signed somewhere else. So I won't call it completely mismanaged. Obviously, I would have liked Justin Fields to be back this year. If we can get a third round pick.
It's only mismanagement if you don't get Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
That's the only way you can look at this as mismanagement.
Yes.
If you get Aaron Rodgers, I think most of the world's like, really between Justin Fields, Russ, and Aaron Rodgers, how big is the gap?
Yeah.
It's not very big.
It's just the future thing with Justin. I think that's about it for him. That's the only thing.
And listen, let's be real. Justin hasn't showed that he's an NFL quarterback. He has not yet. He has not put together
NFL quarterback.
A starting NFL quarterback for years to come.
Yeah.
Because he has not had a full year where he put it together and you're like, whoa.
No, and
solid.
I really wish we wouldn't have kind of fucked him over last season. I think that definitely played into his decision making on going to New York.
Oh yeah,
because he was having. I mean, it wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and say he was having like MVP numbers through his 6 weeks that he played, but
he's winning.
It wasn't bad. He was winning. He was. We lost to the Colts. Other than that, we were all right.
And that was on the defense.
And we lost one other game in there too. He was 4-2.
Cowboys.
Was it the Cowboys?
On the defense.
But I will say, obviously, at this point, I'm hoping that we can sign Aaron Rodgers. If we don't sign Aaron Rodgers...
That was my question. If you don't, let's say he goes to the Vikings. What are you doing, GM Jordy?
You gave us the hypothetical. Now it's your turn.
Yes, so if I'm the GM...
Mason Rudolph.
I'm leading the season with Mason Rudolph. I don't think where our draft position is, there's anybody that we will get to take that is worth taking to start year one for this draft. I say we go in with Mason Rudolph, see what he can do. We already know he's a gunslinger. That's all he does. He throws an interception or he throws an 80-yard completion. Not 80, but
he's
not Anthony Richardson, but he's a gunslinger. And if we don't trade George Pickens, which I've seen a lot of talk about, I really hope we don't trade George Pickens, even though I've seen the arguments, well, but him and DK do the same thing. So why would you want two receivers that are both just deep threats? Well, if you get a quarterback that throws the deep ball well, you have two deep threats for your deep threat quarterback. That's why I don't want to trade George Pickens. I think that having DK and George Pickens on the offense, even if it is Mason Rudolph that's throwing the ball, I'd be okay with for one season. Obviously, if Mason Rudolph comes out and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to turn into Baker Mayfield now, fuck y'all, and starts balling out, I'd be ecstatic.
No.
It's not going to happen.
Might.
But
he might.
It's not going to happen. My biggest heartbreak in this offseason has been the Najee Harris signing with the Chargers. I think I was a bring Najee back guy. I know we talked in the shop, me, Dante, and a couple of our buddies that were talking about it, and they were like, you can get a Najee and a replacement for Najee in the second round, third round. I get that, but you're getting a guy that's proved he can rush for 1,000 yards every year of his career in the NFL. That's my only argument back. You draft, I'm not saying that one of the guys out of Ohio State or anybody else in the draft. I mean, obviously Ashton Genty, I think, is going to be a very good NFL back. Any of those, the 4 to 5 that you guys were mentioning about with running back that, you'd take third, fourth round for you. You don't know if those guys are going to be 1,000-yard-a-year backs in the NFL. That's the risk.
The only thing about 1,000 yards now.
It's 17 games. Absolutely. It's 17 games. So really, the mark's 1,200 now. But still, I mean, we've seen players not rush for 1,000 yards with 17 games that you think might have rushed for that. I think that realistically, if we would have offered him, I don't want to say team-friendly or player-friendly, just a neutral contract, the connections he's built in Pittsburgh, he's best friends with Pat Freiermuth. I think that he really would have liked to stay in Pittsburgh, and I think that's why on his way out, he's kind of spitting on us. I don't know if you guys have seen all the talk. He's kind of been oh yeah, I get to the Chargers. These facilities are nice. Their locker rooms are nice. Their food's good.
He's
everything's sweet here. And it's just all right, well, fuck. Way to make us feel bad. I think that he's a little upset about the whole thing. I think he probably at least wanted a contract offer. Show some interest that you want me back.
I will say that I know how every year they do the team rankings, the team grades for
we're always
coaching facility, training room. And
everybody in the AFC North is pretty much in the 20s, I'm pretty sure, except the Ravens, I think, were 19.
Yeah, the Ravens are usually higher. You guys have the 21st overall pick. Kenny was picked, 22 in the first round?
I believe so.
There could be if Ole Miss quarterback's there, you taking Jackson Dart? Do you want Jackson Dart?
I saw that rumor. I've seen that rumor.
You said we like Jackson Dart. You said that we should get Jackson Dart. Do you think you should get Jackson Dart?
If he's there, I would not be upset at it. I'm not saying that it's my favorite move, but if we do not sign Aaron Rodgers and he's there, we take him. If we sign Aaron Rodgers, I say no. If Aaron Rodgers ends up signing during the Pat McAfee show in Pittsburgh to the Steelers,
which he will,
I say that we do not draft a quarterback at all unless we're drafting somebody. Say the Browns don't take Kyle McCord and he's there in the 4th. Why not?
Yeah,
but
take
other than that,
next 3.
Other than that, I mean, if we get Aaron Rodgers, I'm fine with us building up other positions that we need. our running backs, our, literally anywhere else that we need. I don't know if you did like the cute thing. Yeah, QB, O-line, running back, wide receiver, D-line. That's crazy. The wide receiver is still on there, though, on the team.
So listen, I'm going to give...
wide receiver was a little higher, and I put it down. I'm like, they don't really need... need
maybe like a slot guy that can get down like in the middle of the field, but like you can find
Roman Wilson.
We have Roman Wilson. We have Calvin Austin. I mean, we have
Scotty Miller.
Can I read you guys the free agent quarterbacks? And you guys let me know if you had the pick of all of these guys. Who do you want to start for your team next year?
Say it one more time because we were interrupting you.
So I'm going to ask you guys based off of the free agent quarterbacks left, excluding Aaron Rodgers. Which one of these guys who would you want to start for your team next season out of these guys available? Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Trey Lance, Drew Lock, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz. It gets ugly from here. Case Keenum, Easton Stick, Teddy Bridgewater, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Riper, Tyler Huntley, Desmond Ridder, Sam Ellinger.
I want to say the only right answer would be Trey Lance because you have yet to see what he can put on for a full season. You've seen everybody else for the most part. I'm not comfortable even saying Trey Lance.
So I'm going to be honest.
Between Trey Lance, Carson, and...
who was the second guy you said?
Trey Lance was first. Call me crazy. Mine is Drew Lock. That was the second guy.
So give me Drew Lock. I'm going between two guys. One guy, I don't want to misquote myself. I'm actually going to look because I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Carson Wentz is the Aaron Rodgers of Will Levis's, though. So that's gonna put some things together.
Yes, that was so accurate.
So
holy shit.
Here's what I'll say. I'm between two guys, and it's Drew Lock and call me crazy, Desmond Ridder.
Easton Stick.
Desmond Ridder threw 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions with the Falcons in 15 games 2 years ago. He also threw for 2,800 yards, though, in 15 games. I say you give him a chance. That Falcons team was shit 2 years ago. They really turned around last year. They were good. I think if he was still on that team and given a fair chance, I think they would have been good last year with him. Obviously, they're better because they moved on and got a better quarterback. But I don't think Desmond Ridder is necessarily terrible. We just haven't really seen him get his chance.
Okay.
We've seen him with the Ravens.
We've seen him in and out with Minshew and McConnell and
Trey Lance
or O'Donnell, whatever the fuck his name is. O'Connell, yeah.
Aiden, yeah.
Trey Lance is a huge question mark. He's just small.
He's a third overall pick, so you're thinking. Well, he did come from a small school, didn't play a lot of football, anyways. But that's the only guy that has question marks of he could be, but he's bounced around so many times and been in so many training camps and so many teams that no one really ever said, "Hey."
Hey, why did I think Trey Lance was way shorter than he is, bro? He's 6'4". I thought he was tiny.
Let me trade for what's his name? Patriots backup.
Joe Milton.
Give me Joe Milton.
Joe Milton, people are drinking the Joe Milton Kool-Aid because he throws the ball hard and stuff. He was not good in college.
Anthony Richardson style. I'll get him to throw the ball real hard. He'll run around. He'll give me more excitement than Kenny Pickett will. Kenny Pickett will hold on to the ball and throw it to the ground and fall with it. All right? I don't want to see that.
All right, listen. So before we wrap this up.
Well, I do want to go through, like Derek did for you guys' free agent signings. I just want to go through ours really quick while we're here. So Juan Hornhill, I think that's a solid pickup. I think he was okay.
I can give you information on him too.
I think he was okay.
Who's Hornhill?
I said Juan Thornhill.
You said Hornhill.
Did I?
He's horny for thorny.
I read it all as Juan.
And you see my face go.
All right. Juan Thornhill. Let me say it slowly. I think it's a solid pickup. He's going to be a backup safety for us. He's not going to start over either of our safeties up there. Darius Slay. I really like the Darius Slay signing. He's a vet in the defensive locker room again. I don't think Cam Hayward as a vet is really speaking to the secondary too much. I mean, maybe a little bit. Minka's kind of there. But Darius Slay, obviously, Super Bowl winning corner. He's been on multiple good teams. So I think that just that veteran mindset being up there with JPJ and them guys in the secondary that we have right now is not going to be terrible. I really liked that signing, even if it's for a year because he's going to retire. Mason Rudolph, whatever. We brought him back. If he starts, cool. It is what it is. Kenneth Gainwell, shout out to him in our Super Bowl bet.
Your Super Bowl
over,
leg.
what was it, 4.5 yards?
I think
And he
6.5.
I think it was 4.5, and he
probably.
got 6. Shout out to you.
He hit it.
He's a pass catcher out of the backfield. I mean, he's going to be our, hopefully, RB3.
Yeah,
But-
hopefully. All right.
So-
Well, I'll go just say this real quick. According to NFL.com, the mock draft they did earlier today, with your first overall pick or your first pick in the first round, you take Amari and Hampton, which would take your running back. He'd be your RB2/1, so that'd be good. You don't have a second round pick because you got that for DK. And then your third round pick, Dante and I didn't really mention this guy. I don't know if he's high on this quarterback because I'm not really high on the quarterback, but Tyler Shaw out of Louisville.
They love him, but
I've seen a
That's who
lot
they
of people
have
that love him.
for
I
Steelers.
don't know anything about him. I haven't done any
Yeah.
research into him. I have no idea. Is he supposed to be like the next Lamar out of Louisville or what? Because I
no, he's just
No,
your-
he's not that style.
is he a Kyle McCord, just air it out, throw picks or throw a
I
touchdown?
I did see a sidearm throw he threw in the red zone. Perfect pass to the receiver that impressed me, but everybody has a throw.
Oh yeah, look
He's
at
6'5",
look at anybody's highlights.
219.
He's 6'5", what?
219.
Sign him. Go get him, Cleveland. Third round. Let's go. I'm in love.
So that's supposed to be Big Ben then, huh?
He started 12 games last year, 3,200 yards, basically 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not terrible. I don't know if he's the franchise to come for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we'll see. That's why they a lot of them got Will Howard going to Pittsburgh as well because he's built like that, 6'5". He's a big dude compared to their previous quarterback, Big Ben. So
I think they want Milrow.
I don't
yeah,
want
I-
Milrow.
You don't like black
No.
quarterback.
That's
course not.
not why. I saw him shit down his leg against Michigan, not once, but twice.
So did Will Howard, though. You want Will Howard?
No,
Once.
I don't want Kyle
did too.
McCord either.
Kyle McCord.
Jordan, 21 overall, 20 overall, whatever pick you have. Who's your ideal pick? Realistic, obviously. Don't hit me with Cam Ward.
No, I think it's either Ashton Genty or Jackson Dart.
See, I don't know if Ashton's going to fall that far.
I don't know either, but I've
I
seen
don't
him.
know
I've
if
seen him
Dart will either.
fluctuate in every draft, bro. Both of them. I've seen Ashton Genty going as low as 14, and I've seen him going as high as 33, 34. So it's like, is he going to be a first round
All right.
or a second round pick? Nobody knows. He's going to be anywhere in between there. Same thing with
He's
Jackson
going to be a
Dart.
first round without a doubt. I think he's going to get. I'll bet, since I bet Dante $10. Do you want to bet $10 he's going to be a top 15 pick? That's my guess.
No, I don't want to bet $10.
12.
Because I think you think Chicago? Is that Chicago's pick? 12 or 11? I forget who that is.
I think Dallas. I don't think he'll last past Dallas or Chicago.
Yeah, Dallas. I mean, Chicago would need an offensive lineman. If they don't like who they have there, you take Ashton Genty.
Or Oakland. I don't think they last
Chicago
past
needs
Oakland,
defense.
Dallas, Chicago.
Yeah, I think he's top.
They got a
15
team in
without a
Oakland
doubt.
now?
You know what I meant.
I think honestly for you guys, I think you guys could get another running like an Omari and Hampton running back. I think
Yeah.
he'd be the second guy.
I'm going to be honest. This is probably the least excited for a draft that I've been in quite a few years, just because I think
You don't got
everybody,
a quarterback.
well, everybody that we would want in the first round, I think will probably get taken before we get to pick. And then with our first round pick, we're just going to take somebody we could have taken in the second round, and everybody's going to be like, dude, why the hell did you take him?
Yeah, of course.
You guys don't know this, but we're going to talk about the Bengals and Ravens just like that, just pretty soon. But this is closing remarks from Dante and Jordan.
Let us know what you guys think the Browns and Steelers should do below in the draft. Let us know if we're fried. Let us know if we don't know ball, because I'm sure you guys will.
And I want to
Peace.
throw in there too, fuck the Bengals and the Ravens. I hope their drafts all go to shit and their off seasons all sucked. They all did
100%
fucking
fuck the
terrible.
Steelers.
Hey, Bengals completely fucked themselves giving them contracts out that they did, and they're gonna extend Trey Hendrickson now instead of trading him. Yeah, get fucked, buddy.
Surprise, surprise. It's just me right now because Dante and Jordan, they didn't want to talk about your Bengals and Ravens, guys. They didn't want to talk about them. They weren't fans. They didn't want to talk about them at all. Don't worry. I'll talk about some of the Baltimore Ravens moves and the Cincinnati Bengals moves this offseason, what they should do in the draft. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know for sure. And first, we're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens had a good year last year, right? A lot of people thought they were going to make it far in the playoffs. They had a chance. They brought Derrick Henry onto the roster. They had a great defense the second half of the year. They put it together. Then they fell apart against the Bills, which I thought the Bills or the Ravens, whoever won that matchup was going to make it to the Super Bowl. Somehow, some way, Chiefs did it once again. But we got the Baltimore Ravens, and the team needs, you guys need O-line help. Maybe some corners, maybe some safeties, a little bit of D-line and edge help on the defensive side. So I really want to know what you guys think. I know O-line situation, Ben Cleveland, shout out him. I think he's going to be fine for the rest of the season. I know what he got caught doing, not a good thing, don't do it. But he's going to be fine. He'll be back and playing for the Ravens next year. The key free agent moves, at least for the Ravens, like I said, Ben Cleveland, he's coming back or re-signing again for the Baltimore Ravens, and that just adds a little more depth into their line after they lost Patrick McCarry. I don't know how to say his last name exactly, but he went to the Jags, and Josh Jones, who went to the Seahawks. So the return of Cleveland is, still a surprise because his playing time has decreased, but it still is going to have you guys have a lot of depth over there in Baltimore. So he's going to be competing with Andrew Voorhees, which we know Voorhees is going to take that spot at the starting guard position. And his legal issues, like I said, we'll see how those pan out. Next guy, Ronnie Stanley. 3-year deal, $60 million. Well deserved. Ronnie Stanley, one of the best tackles in the NFL, definitely deserves that type of money that was given to him. Shout out Ronnie Stanley. See, now for these free agent moves, we're not going to cover everyone. As mentioned in the video before, we're not covering every free agent move or every off-season signing that you guys had. So this one, Patrick Ricard, he's coming back. Good utility guy on the offensive end. You guys did get DeAndre Hopkins to a 1-year deal, $5 million. I mean, you guys signed veterans in the past. You had Odell, you had Aguilar, you had DeAndre Johnson, you had Des Bryant at one point. You had a lot of old Deshaun Jackson, a lot of old receivers come towards the end of their careers. I don't know if D-Hop's going to follow suit with those other receivers, but he's definitely going to be one of those guys to where you're going to throw it to him, he's going to catch it. At least that's what you're hoping. And a 5-year deal, $5 million deal for 1 year, why not throw it out there and see how it works? Definitely, I think the Ravens are going to need wide receiver help, even though the team needs, when I searched it up, exactly what you guys needed. No one listed wide receiver. I think you guys need some wide receiver help, to be honest. Next, I'm not going to be able to say this guy's name, but you guys know him. He's a corner. Chidobe Awuzie. I mean, he's going to be near that corner 3 spot. He started 81 games so far in his 8-season career. You guys did have Brandon Stevens signed with the Jets, so you kind of lost him. And then you got Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins left from that secondary last year for the most part that started the majority of those games. Most likely, he's going to be corner 3, play the nickel a little bit. We'll see how he goes. The only issue is that he gets hurt a little often. Can he stay healthy? He's missed 25 games over the last 5 seasons. He's dealt with a hamstring injury, which, mainly just a tweak, not a huge injury. It sidelined him for 7 games. Probably just want to come back healthy. Probably could have came back earlier, but it's a hammy. He's going to be fine. But then he suffered a season-ending ACL tear in 2022, which a lot of players now with modern medicine still come back from ACLs and still look good. This time, we don't know exactly. It might take a year like this just past year or two. And maybe he's going to be a little better. Maybe he's still rehabbing. Maybe he's not full 100% yet. We'll see. Now, we're going to talk about your guys' draft picks. At the moment, I'm going to have to count these live. You got a first round, a second round, a third round, 2 fourths, a fifth, and 4 sixths, ending with a 7th round pick as well. I don't know. I'm recording this before we even record the Browns and Steelers topic, because they said they didn't want to talk about you guys, so I'm recording this beforehand. For everyone else in the graphic or in the spreadsheet that I made, I only did the first 3 rounds for the most part of who the NFL mock draft is expecting you guys to take. So for the first round pick, your 27th pick, you're going to take Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia. Really good. Definitely going to add to that secondary. To where you guys in the beginning of the year look a little Swiss cheese. Like I said, got better later half in the year, but the beginning looked a little rough. Second round, we got Cameron Williams from Texas. He is a guard. Now, like I said, going to add depth to that O-line. You guys need a little bit of that O-line help We'll see if he can pan out if you guys decide to draft him. Who knows? These are all mock drafts. Most likely, you guys might not even go 1 for 3 out of these. You might go 0 for 3. Next one is your 3rd round pick, the 91st overall pick, Jeffrey Bassa. Bassa? Don't know how to say his last name, but he's from Oregon, a linebacker. He was a senior last year, helped Oregon and their dominating team play really, really good last year. For you guys that are listening to me, those first 3 names that I named, there's going to be names out there that you guys think that the Ravens should get, and I want to know in the comments down below, who do you think the Ravens should target? What are their most valuable needs, their top 3? We'll say wide receiver, O-line, and maybe secondary, right? We'll throw that out there. You let me know. So that's going to be it. I'm just going to do quick topics for each team. That was kind of the Ravens for the most part. I mean, you guys most likely should re-up again. I mean, you guys had a good team last year, should have a really good team this year. We'll see how the GOAT outside linebacker, Kyle Van Noy, is going to look this year. Another year older, but he played out of his mind this past year. Then we'll move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, you guys, it's a little different. You guys have high hopes, didn't live up to the expectations. The defense was absolutely atrocious. You guys did, like I said, like how the Ravens defense put it on in the second half of the year. You guys put it on in the second half of the year, but it was a little too late. Didn't get enough wins to make it in the playoffs. And team needs, at least from NFL.com, says that you guys need edge help, safety, linebacker, O-line, or corners. So those are the quote-unquote top 5. I can tell you, it's not like the Ravens. You guys don't need wide receiver help at all because you guys signed Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to a massive, massive deal. Both of them, I believe, I don't know if these stats are correct. Shout out Twitter. Chase, Higgins, and Joe Burrow account for 41% of the team's salary cap, which is insane. Those are 3 players. I know, very important players, quarterback, receiver, but 41% is an insane number, especially Trey Hendrickson still needs to sign. I don't know if he's going to sign by the time that this video releases. It's being recorded Wednesday, March 26th at 9:33 p.m. He might get signed tomorrow. Who knows? But we'll move on to your free agent moves here. Sheldon Rankins, you guys got a defensive tackle. You guys lost Sam Hubbard. He retired. You're going to need a little bit of help on that defensive line, especially if Trey Hendrickson holds out because he wants a contract. Who knows if that's a chance? Jamar tried to do it, and then he got paid. Trey might do it again. Not do it again, but he might do the same thing. But you guys got Sheldon Rankins on a 2-year deal, $26 million. That's a key position. You guys need it. Immediately gives you guys pass rushing presence in the middle. Last season, you guys were 7th in pass rush win rate as a defensive tackle, or he was as a defensive tackle, 7th in pass rush win rate. Now, the Bengals have one of the league's best edge rushers in Trey Hendrickson. It's true. You guys do. But he still has to sign, still has to play, and still has to be happy. There's rumors about him getting traded. We'll see. Now, what's the risk of having Sheldon Rankins? Well, he's 30 years old. But luckily, you just saw a guy in your division way older than 30 have a great year, Cam Hayward. So you're assuming that D-tackle position age is just a number. And we'll see if he can sustain his performance level with the next 2 years with the Bengals. You guys did re-sign Geno Stone, a 2-year, $15 million deal. Shout out him. Used to hoop in the same league that I used to hoop in. My team played against him. Sadly, I didn't make it to that game. So could have played against Geno Stone. I missed out. But you guys get still a good safety. Led the league in interceptions about 3 years ago when he was with the Ravens his last year. Definitely a solid pickup or re-sign for you guys. And speaking of another solid re-sign, it's another same position. You got safety, Von Bell, another re-sign for you guys. Well, re-sign because he was in Carolina, now back with the Bengals. So still a good deal. You still got young defensive backs in Dax Hill and Jordan Battle. So bringing on that veteran presence should help your secondary. I believe you guys should be a little better than what you were last year. We'll see how that turns out exactly. We'll say that since Carolina is still on the hook for the guaranteed money, there couldn't be less of a risk for the Bengals. So One can say that Cincinnati's side of the risk was taken last year when the safety play dropped after Bell and Jesse Bates left in free agency. It's a good sign for you guys. They're going to take on $13 million of that guaranteed money. So you guys got a nice player for that. Now, your NFL draft board. You got a first round pick, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, 4, 6, and a 7th. Now, I believe I did this incorrectly. I did. So I copied and pasted the Ravens over. So I don't even know how many exactly picks you guys have. I lied. Right here, it's incorrect. And it's going to be on the screen somewhere, your exact picks. But I have the players. First round pick, you guys are going to take Michael Williams, Georgia, edge. He's a junior last year. Georgia had a really good defense last year, especially that front four. So Mikel, we'll see if he can maybe get drafted by you guys. I'm assuming that they're either expecting this was with Trey leaving or just having him across from Trey and having a good presence rushing the passer. We'll see. Second round pick, they have Donovan Jackson, the guard from Ohio State, going to you guys as well. Like we said, you guys do need a little bit of O-line help, kind of similar to the Ravens. Need to protect your quarterback because Joe Burrow is one of the best top 3 quarterbacks in the league. In the third round, TJ Sanders, South Carolina defensive tackle. So from those mock drafts, they're assuming that you guys are going to need a little more help on that defensive front and build that O-line as well for your quarterback. You guys really don't need skill position. You got a lot of skills with your wide receiver group and Chase Evans running the ball. Mike Gesicki, shout out him. He re-signed as well. You guys got good skill players over there. So at least for the Bengals, if you're watching, if you're a Bengals fan, if you're a Cincy fan, you let me know down below what free agent signing or offseason move you do think I missed that is really important to the Bengals that I might have overlooked. I just try to focus on the main ones for the most part. And who do you think you guys should draft in this NFL draft? First, second, and third round if you can. If you can do a little bit of research there and let me know. And let me know, because I got this from NFL.com. They just posted it today, I believe, their mock draft for the first 4 rounds. And I kind of copied and pasted over who they thought you guys were going to take. So let me know down below. This is going to be the end of the video of the whole AFC North talk preview. I don't even know what we're going to call or title this video. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys staying till the end. Please be sure to hit that like button. It really helps us out a lot growing the channel. If you're able to comment, I'll comment back personally from our channel as well. And until next time, guys, peace out.